Hey guys, so I finally got around to watching Gotham Season 4, Episode 22, A Dark Knight, No Man's Land. Wow, what an episode. Now, this is really awesome because we do know that they have been confirmed for Season 5, and we will be getting that, and that'll officially be the last season. And I'm glad that the shows get to do that, and they get to going into the season before they even start writing it, or maybe they have started writing it, but they probably only written like maybe the first episode by now because they have the whole summer break right to start writing and all that, and they get to they get a lot of time to plan out the whole season as if it is their last season, and think that this is really the best way to do it, and the way that things end in here, kind of setting up hopefully the fallout of this episode and this whole season 4 could be stretched, could be the whole season 5, and it could just all go like that. So it's really going to be cool to see where things go with all this. So let's get into it. The first part is Selina's in the hospital from getting shot by Jerome in the last episode, so she's in the hospital the whole time. Jerome is in prison, or at the GCPD in custody, and he's asking for Bruce to find out where the other bombs are. But he only had one other bomb, just to kind of convince them that they had other bombs. And then the government calls martial law and sends in the army, and Gordon gets arrested, and the Riddler ends up taking him. The Riddler shows up, takes out the soldiers, and takes Jim hostage, but does a whole thing with him because he thinks that because he saw how Lee was looking at him in the last episode when they were last talking, and how he feels like he's holding back Lee by being alive. So he tries to do that, but Lee stops him from killing him. And Ra's al Ghul is leaving Gotham and shows up to Barbara and wants her to leave with him, but she but she doesn't really want to do that. Bruce ends up talking to Jerome, and then Jerome ends up disappearing and taking off when the power goes out, and he has some of Ra's al Ghul's men helping him so that he can escape, and that was really cool there. And then Lee tries to leave. They're originally going to leave Gotham, but she ends up not leaving Gotham. Barbara ends up using Bruce by putting the one knife that can kill Alfred. That can kill the Ra's al Ghul in Bruce's hand, and stabbing Ra's al Ghul, and he ends up killing him. And then as he's dying, Ra's al Ghul tells Bruce that you must become the Dark Knight, and that was a really cool moment. And the bridges all around Gotham end up blowing up, so that everyone is stuck on who stays on. In Gotham, are all going to be stuck there type thing. That was really cool. A lot of people end up leaving. The bridges blow up, and people start leaving on the boats and stuff. Lee ends up stabbing the Riddler, and he was about to stab her, and then she stabs him, and then he takes the knife out of himself and stabs her, and that's where they kind of end. But then Butch ends up getting cured by Hugo Strange, and he's back. And just when he comes back, and Penguin says, "Oh, you're always my friend," and then shoots him right in front of Tabitha. A huge plot for revenge to killing the person that Tabitha loves, since Tabitha killed his mother back in season 2 or season 1. Wow, that was such a cool thing. It was really interesting to see that, and that he's dead for that. Bruce won't leave Gotham when Selina's being taken away by an ambulance to go on the ferries and leave. He ends up staying back because he wants to become the Dark Knight, as Ra's al Ghul told him to, and he sends Alfred. Alfred tries to stay with him, but he sends Alfred to stay with Selina so that he can, make sure Selina's okay type thing. So Alfred goes off with Selina. Then we get a montage where the classic villains are going around, and they're finding their bases, finding their hideouts, making their evil villain lair. And I like when they're doing that, how you have characters like Mr. Freeze, who was, he was always a lackey type thing, doing other things for hire type thing, and now he's going to be his own boss, trying to make it his own place. Firefly's making her own place. And then there's other people that are new people, like we later also see Man-Bat. That was really cool seeing that. But then there's also the kid with the axe and their silver faces. I really don't know who they are, so that'll be cool to see who that is. At first I thought maybe the doll maker and stuff, because they look all like dolls and stuff, but it didn't. It looked like something else from that, so that'll be cool to see whoever they are. And then the Penguin ends up bringing Lee Tompkins and the Riddler to Hugo Strange. He has his guys drop him off and say, fix them. And then Hugo Strange kind of looks at them, ooh, what am I going to do with them type of thing. So they're probably going to get some sort of power, some sort of things going on for season 5. Now with the Riddler, it's going to be cool to see what happens with him. How does he change? What's going to happen with him? Hopefully they don't change him too much. Lee, I feel like they can give her powers. Who cares, I'd rather keeping the Riddler the way he is. I mean, not maybe obviously change him just a little bit because we've it has to be something different about him, especially for an ending like that. But I would hate for them to completely give him too many powers or whatever, or make him crazy. Turn him in, just completely get rid of him, and he would not be the Riddler. Even though he's still around, he's no longer the Riddler type thing. I would hate for that to kind of change, or he turns into some sort of hulking brute or some sort of thing like Solomon Grundy was, and then it just kind of, he's no longer the Riddler. So hopefully he can still be the Riddler. Maybe he just has a little bit extra, something a little bit kind of changes him or pushes him a little bit more towards the comic book character. I mean, this pretty much is the comic book character, the Riddler. So he's really pretty much there. So it'll be cool to see where things go with the Riddler and how Hugo Strange ends up changing him. Maybe he puts more focus on changing. I could see, maybe a Penguin if he may or may not still be in love with Riddler, or a little bit type thing. So he might not want him to die. So maybe I'll just have him make sure he stays the normal, but maybe turn Lee into something could be quite cool. I wouldn't want to get rid of her on the show too much, but I would like to. It would be cool to give her some sort of powers or some sort of different that'll kind of change her up a little bit. But I still want them to still have the same actresses. I don't want them to change it so much that Marina Baccarin no longer has to play Lee Tompkins or things like that. That would just be annoying. That would be kind of disappointing type thing. So she's such a good actress for the role and all that. So. Hopefully it can stay. They can change up these characters and send them in a new path, with powers and stuff, but without changing the central characters. Without changing the fact that this is a Riddler. This is still the Riddler, and it's still recognizable for someone who hasn't seen a single episode of Gotham. They know the basics about Batman. They can turn it on and go, oh, that's the Riddler. He's clearly the Riddler, just by looking at him, hearing him type thing. Hopefully it's not change him too much from that perspective. So we'll have to wait and see where things go with them. And then Jim ends up using the prototype bat signal, just a spotlight in the sky with nothing on it. And then Bruce Wayne shows up on the rooftop, and that was a great moment. And obviously foreshadowing the whole Batman and Alfred storyline. And he's also wearing the classic. He's also wearing a beige long trench coat type thing, which hopefully he wears throughout the whole next season, because that's clearly what he wears throughout the. In the comics and stuff, so that'll be really cool to see that, and I'm really going to be interested to check it out online. I'm not sure if Ben McKenzie has a Instagram account, but I don't remember if he's seeing too many photos of that. But it would be cool to see whether or not if he's growing out his beard over the summer, and that would be really cool. Grow out the whole beard all summer, just to shave everything off and keep the mustache. So hopefully, since this is the last season, we can give him his mustache, even if it's just something very, very, very subtle or whatever. It would be cool to see that. Or what would be cool is if maybe he shaves, maybe going into the first episode of season 6, which I'm not sure how many episodes we're supposed to be getting. Hopefully, we're getting a full 22 episodes. If we are, then maybe we could then have him stop shave for the first episode, and then like a week before filming the first episode, so he has like just a week's worth of stubble, and then from then on start slowly let it grow, but let it grow as fast as it would normally take for the actor. So if it takes him, if by episode 5 he already has a full-on mustache, then that's the way it goes, type thing, with how long it takes to film things and all that stuff, and before the episodes actually air. I think that would be really cool, seeing that, rather than the progression that it would take in the episode, because if they would do that, then it would seem like it would grow real fast and all that. But it would be cool to see him with a mustache in next season. I would like to see the mustache at least by episode 10, if not before that. Maybe episode 5 would be a really good point for him to start having the mustache, or just straight up from the beginning, just have first episode of season 5 having him have the comic book mustache would be really cool with that. So that could be really cool, and definitely can't wait to see that. And we did get confirmation that Bruce will become Batman, so that'll be cool seeing that. Hopefully we get at least 1 or 2 episodes of him full on Batman, like clearly that's Batman, no prototype costume. Obviously he'll have to put that on for the last episode he'll probably put on a classic Batman thing for the last episode. Maybe they'll do a Smallville type thing where the last scene is him ripping open his shirt with, Batman and putting on the cowl and going off and, jumping in front of the camera type thing. And that would be the classic thing where they do that. So that could be cool. I was kind of disappointed though in this episode, the end of this episode, when Bruce started looking for Jeremiah, and he was beating up some thugs, and that's when he saw the spotlight in the sky type thing. He wasn't wearing his prototype costume that he had at the end of last season, because at the end of last season, they didn't know they were going to get a season 4. They weren't sure, so they ended it as if, here's an ending that from here is a perfect ending. Oh, there you go. You can guess where he goes from there, and that was a perfect ending to end the series at the end of season 3. Whereas since they then had a season, and then we haven't seen that costume since. So hopefully we get to see that, and he puts that costume back on, just a balaclava or just some sort of like helmet and some sort of cape type thing. Even if he's just putting on a mask to go around looking for people. I know everyone knows Bruce Wayne is and type thing, and everyone would be able to tell it to him. But it'll be cool to see where things go with that and how things kind of continue on, and how there's so many people left in this. There's so few people left in the city now that everyone's kind of in a crazy riot, and the government's left the city. There's no one left but all kinds of criminals type thing. It'd be cool to see how Bruce does different stuff, and how if he does put on a costume, becomes sort of the Batman or the Dark Knight, or so far he'll just be called the Dark Knight, and he won't have the Bat idea. I think it would be cool to see that, and maybe start off season 5 where he's putting on that prototype costume, and he's going out. He pretty much is Batman. He's all but Batman without the logo, without the ears, so everything else looks like Batman type thing. That could be a really cool idea. And obviously I will love the show so much more if they do not paint his goddamn effing eyes, because it drives me even crazy that even Ben Affleck nowadays still they paint their freaking eyes around the mask. Everyone does. Anyone who wears a Robin mask, they paint their eyes. I saw a guy at Comic-Con who played himself dressed up as classic Green Arrow, and he had the classic Green Arrow comic book style eyes. It looked kind of silly when watch standing in a brightly lit Comic-Con type thing, but for Batman in the crowds, it would work so well. He could have some sort of lens in there that could show him different versions, so he could see through walls, maybe some heat signatures and different things like that. So Bruce needs to have that in there, and with Lucius sitting there, it's gonna be cool to see that. And Jim did ask Lucius, I need you to do one thing, and I don't know if that was set up the spotlight. Maybe that's what he was talking about, but maybe it is some sort of costume type thing, and that'll be cool to see that. I could see maybe Jim telling Lucius to kind of make some sort of suit for Bruce, because he's worried about Bruce. So he feels that if Lucius makes him some sort of suit to kind of protect him, so that Bruce Wayne could go out and fight and not have to worry about too much. I think that could be really cool to do that. Maybe Maybe Jim says, okay, Bruce, you can stay here and help, as long as Lucius makes you a suit, body armor that'll help you stay protective, and he'll give you some gadgets to help you to make sure you're safe. So I think that could be really cool, seeing that and having that kind of relationship, building up the whole Bruce Wayne and that relationship all there. But so far it looks like pretty much that the way things are going, they can't set up Batman without Jim Gordon going, yeah, obviously you're Bruce Wayne. Clearly, you're acting just like Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne was the one that stayed here. So they're not really going to be able to do that whole, how does he do that? Who is he? That Bruce Wayne, that Jim Gordon doesn't know that Bruce Wayne is Batman. So unless they end the season with, Jim Gordon has amnesia type thing, and he forgets who's going on, which that could happen. There could be a long storyline building that up, in the season, in season 5, how, changing, obviously not changing Bruce Wayne's personality, but, Gordon could go through something, a mixture of getting hit in the head, a mixture of some sort of weird crane serum, or whatever powers Lee's going to come out with, and all that stuff mixing with him, and he has some sort of break where, he forgets a few things and he starts kind of losing it type thing, and that's when, at the end of the season, when you have Batman, Bruce Wayne becomes Batman, and Jim Gordon's not able to kind of see where things are going to go, doesn't go, oh, obviously that's Bruce Wayne, or maybe it's just the whole point is that he at this point he'll know, but he won't tell anyone. But pretty much everyone will know that it's Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is Batman. I mean, Bullock's gonna know that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Lucius is obviously gonna know, but he knows in the comics. And then Alfred will probably know at one point. So that'll be cool to see where things go with all this. It's gonna be cool to see how things end in the season 5. Definitely is going to be interesting to see how things kind of continue on from here. And it was really cool seeing that. And if that is Man-Bat, that'll be really cool to see that. And if that is the first episode of season 5, that could be quite cool, because if I'm not mistaken, Man-Bat was actually the first villain in the Batman animated cartoon. So that was really cool there to see him, and it'll be cool to see how they do that on a Gotham budget. And I think it could be cool. It could work with Man-Bat because you have him in the shadows and all that stuff, so you only have a few scenes where you actually see him. You mostly just have him in the shadows. It could be quite fun seeing that. So all in all, it's really cool with this. Hopefully we can get some cameos in season 5, since it is the last season. People like I can't think of his name, but the guy who voiced Batman in all the Arkham games, and the guy who voiced Batman in Injustice, he voiced him in the animated show. I can't think of his name, but he's the Batman to Mark Hamill's Joker. Would be really cool seeing that. And even Mark Hamill would be a great person to see joining here. Maybe he could play, actually, heck, he can play the Trickster. That would be a bit confusing if he played the Trickster, just because it would, with the whole, Flash and all that stuff. But he could play as someone like that, and maybe playing a version of the Joker, maybe playing like Jerome's, I wouldn't say grandfather, but maybe an uncle or type thing to Jerome, who comes around type thing. It would be quite cool seeing that. And then maybe he gets infected by the Crane serum and all, so it could be cool seeing that. So it would be cool seeing characters like that actors like that getting cameos. People who have played Batman in the last season. The best one would have been Adam West, maybe even Burt Ward, since unfortunately Adam West can't, he passed away type thing. He's not able to. He passed away, so that wouldn't be able to happen. But having people like Burt Ward, Lee Merriweather, any of those actors and stuff would be pretty cool to see them. I think Lee Merriweather may have passed away too, but I know Burt Ward is definitely still alive. So definitely different characters like that would be really cool to seeing that. And seeing the different Batman actors who who've played him throughout the time and stuff, having them cameo in here would be quite cool here. Heck, it would even be cool to see. I mean, obviously you won't get anyone like George Clooney or anything like that, but it would be cool to see some sort of a few cameos that they can do for the end of the season. So it's really going to be cool to see where things go with this and how they kind of build it up to the end. I'm glad that Gotham knows that they have an ending season, rather than kind of they go into the whole season knowing that it's an end, rather than like when they did season 3, which they had an end. It was perfect, good enough to end the season on, because it didn't leave a cliffhanger. Even this is kind of enough to see that that whether or not it's kind of enough, but they know that they're going to get another season. So hopefully now we'll be able to get an actual Batman, and they can get the whole license and stuff and have Batman in there. So hopefully for season 5 we can get at least one episode with full on Batman, and have like the before last episode be where he puts on the cowl, and then we have the full episode of him as Batman, and that's it. Or they might do the whole Smallville thing where they just do the reveal and that's the end, But we'll have to wait and see where things go with that in next season. So let me know what you think, guys, about this season in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.